All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to Yellow Table Talk. I have my son who is working the camera. Something's wrong?
Yes.
Okay, so if you can see me on my phone, hold tight. This is Facebook Live, so anything can happen, right? Mm-hmm. So hold on. And if you can see me on here, we'll be right with you. Just stay put. Let's keep doing that, okay? It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so we just had a little bit of technical difficulties, so we are working that out. And I'll just say stay tuned. So thank you again for joining Mr. Elliot Palmer and myself, Sherry Bridges, for another Yellow Table Talk show. And if you're new to Yellow Table Talk, what I do with every show, I just give you just like a snippet of what Yellow Table Talk is, why it exists, the purpose of it. So in 2015-16, I was diagnosed with depression and began to experience a lot of anxiety. And so on that journey of healing and restoration, and I went through therapy, and I even was on medication for a while. And during that journey of healing, I began to meet other believers, other Christians that also were battling depression and anxiety. And in the beginning, I found comfort, realizing that I wasn't the only one. But then with time, I began to become concerned because I was meeting so many believers and unbelievers also that were really struggling with depression and anxiety and really bound by it. And so I prayed, and the Lord gave me this talk show called Yellow Table Talk. So here it is. And why yellow? Well, yellow is my favorite color. It's the color of joy, of friendship, happiness, new beginnings. I just absolutely love the color yellow. If you ever see me out anywhere I go, you're going to find yellow on me. If it's my earrings, my shirt, whatever it is, my necklace, you're going to find yellow on me. I love yellow. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about addiction, recovering from addiction, and recovering from addiction with a plan. Okay, so I have with me today Mr. Elliot Palmer, and we are actually connected. Mr. Palmer, he doesn't even know this, but he knows probably now. But he taught one of the classes that I went to was a rap class.
Okay.
And that's how we met. And he was my rap instructor. And if anyone doesn't know what rap is, it's WRAP. And it's Wellness Recovery Action Plan. And Mr. Palmer was my rap instructor. And we actually developed a wellness plan and even a crisis plan too. Mm-hmm. A wellness and crisis plan. And I still use my wellness plan today. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit later on within the show. So this is what I want you to do. This is what I tell everyone to do. Get a piece of paper and a pencil as always, because my guests always have nuggets, to give information, to pass along tools, to help you on your journey, whatever journey it may be, whether it's for you, whether it's for a loved one, a friend. So please get your paper and your pencil and let's get started. So Mr. Palmer, thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
And so if you could just share with our audience a little bit about what you do. And
all right. Well, first of all, I am a person in recovery. I am a certified peer support specialist. And what a certified peer support specialist is, this is an individual that is certified to work with individuals dealing with substance use and or mental health issues. We help people reach their goals in life, goals like housing, employment, socialization skills, independent living skills, coping skills and activities to deal with their mental illness or their process of recovery. And it's very fulfilling. I'm also a trainer to train individuals to become certified peer support specialists. As she mentioned, I'm also a certified RAP facilitator. RAP stands for Wellness Recovery Action Plan, and that pertains to wellness. Because who in this world is concerned with their wellness? Everybody. So RAP is good for everybody. It doesn't say drug recovery action plan, schizophrenic recovery action plan, depression recovery action plan, heroin recovery action plan, opioid recovery action plan, the people that work getting on my nerves recovery action plan, these children getting on my nerves recovery action plan. But it's good for all of that, including weight loss and diabetes. Wellness is good for your total wellness, and that's one of my passions, to spread that wellness plan and to help others increase their wellness and increase the wellness of those around them. I'm also a instructor I'm certified to teach people to be facilitators for the RAP plan. So if you're interested in becoming a RAP facilitator, please contact me. I'm also a first aid CPR instructor certified by the American Heart Association. I have 2 gas stations and a convenience store. No, just joking on that.
Like, really?
But it seems that my life has been enriched by, as you can tell, all the occupations and things that I do are part of helping promote wellness and recovery throughout the community. Also, I'm a member of the City of Raleigh Substance Abuse Advisory Commission. So promoting recovery efforts and substance use efforts, prevention efforts in the City of Raleigh.
Oh, wow. Okay. And then also what I'm going to do, I'm going to, at the end of our show, I always go back on Facebook and kind of make sure they're posting the video posted well on Facebook. But I have Mr. Palmer's business card, and I'm going to also put that information on Facebook for you as well. Okay? And so you're doing a lot.
Yeah, and it's not easy, but you got to maintain your wellness to do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so now, what's the name you said? Answer.
Okay, my company is named Answer.
Okay.
Answer stands for A New Start While Empowering Recovery.
Okay.
Okay, in my company, I provide peer support services, RAP facilitation, RAP facilitator training, first aid CPR facilitation. I do the peer support trainings for an agency called NC Hope, which is the #1 peer support training agency in North Carolina. I'm a facilitator for them to facilitate the NC Hope curriculum. But other than that, Answer, A New Start While Empowering Recovery, which describes me and what I'm doing in my life.
Yeah. So why are you in this field? What has brought you to this field?
Oh, wow. That's a long trail. Early on in life, I was always a gifted student, involved in a lot of community activities, Boy Scouts, football, basketball, baseball. But I always felt different for some reason. I wanted to smoke because everybody else was smoking. I wanted to drink so that people would like me. And people already liked me, but to me, it didn't seem that way. I felt I had to do other things in order to do that. And as early as age of 7 or 8 years old, I can remember sneaking little drinks, left on the picnic tables when parents had cookouts and whatnot. Going on up to 7th, 8th grade, starting to experiment with marijuana and drinking. All in an effort to just fit in. And it wasn't that I didn't fit in, I was popular, but I felt I didn't fit in, that was my perception of it. I remember even once in high school, so I'd never gotten in trouble, but getting caught smoking a cigarette in the bathroom by one of the administration. They said, Elliot, you know better than that. Go to class, put that out and go to class. Don't do that again. And I sat there and protested and said, well, look, if you caught somebody else smoking, they would go and have to be punished. I need to be punished.
So you...
Yeah, I asked to be punished.
You wanted to be punished?
Well, see, we had a thing started there called in-school suspension.
Okay.
And I've never been in school suspension like all my friends had. So he said, what do you want me to do? I said, you need to put me in in-school suspension. And I had them put me in in-school suspension,
Mm-hmm.
so that I would be like everybody else.
Wow.
Yeah, so there was always something early on that something different, a need to find something or someone outside myself to make me feel all right.
Okay.
Okay?
Do you feel like you had support at home?
I had great support at home. Great support at home, great support at school, great support in the community.
But there was still something lacking on the inside?
And what I found that is, this is later on, finding out about addiction, learning about addiction. It's not a matter of what you do or what someone else is doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's an illness.
So this is interesting that you say that, because we often judge, and when I say we, families are often judged, or individuals are often judged. If someone is going through an addiction, they often say, oh, he must have had a bad childhood, or she must have had a traumatic childhood, or, oh, you know, a parent wasn't in the home, a single family home, or, you know, there are reasons why. But Mr. Palmer is a good example of having very supportive parents. And actually your parents, and we don't have to go that far, but I know your parents were very involved with Black history and African American culture and education. So you had a very supportive family, and it sounds like you had a very supportive community. So on the outside, you know, everything is great. You know, you had everything.
Yeah.
But this just goes to show that addiction can hit any home, any household, any family. And it doesn't the person doesn't have to come from a traumatic background to go through addiction. But now you said you found it was an illness.
Okay, so
let's talk about that.
Let me tell you a little bit about the progression. So it started out just having fun, party, you know, being with my friends and everything. And like I said, I always excelled in school. So I leave high school, was not going to college. While I'm in college, still progresses, you know.
And when you progress, is this just alcohol? Or
no, alcohol. My mother died second year I was in college, and that gave me the fuel to let my disease just take off. And I've done every drug known to man, except what's come out in the last couple of years. I have no desire to increase my experience, but yeah, I've done. If you had anything you told me would make me feel different, then it was okay with me. I would, you know. Some people have an issue with getting wrapped around the concept of it being a disease. But if you think about it, why is it that, you know, say, well, everybody has a drink or everybody tries something. But why is it that some people try something and then they can put it down and then others can't? It's like, you know, everybody can eat peanut butter, but some people eat peanut butter and their throat swells up. So I found that I'm allergic to drugs.
Okay.
And drugs and alcohol. But the progression carried on through college and into working, and to show how it kind of sneaks up on you. At first I was using, and when I say using, I include drinking. Using, and then it was just considered partying. I like to party a lot. And then I noticed that, I started going to work late. I started getting complaints from my supervisors and whatnot. I started missing appointments, and I told myself, oh, well, maybe I need to cut back on the using because it's starting to get in the way of work.
Now, what are you using at this time?
As I told you,
everything.
Okay. If you had alcohol, if you had marijuana, if you had cocaine, you had acid, everything. It didn't matter. I just liked to party. That's what I thought.
And you partying every night? Are you partying often, or is this just stashes that you have at home?
Yeah, it becomes, at first it was like a weekend thing, and then they say, you're taking a couple pills to help you a couple caffeine pills so you can stay awake and study.
Okay, just to get through.
Yeah, just to get through the study. Then you're having a couple of snorts of cocaine so that you can make it through the workday because you stayed up all night studying. And then it keeps going until then you say, well, maybe I need to, as I was saying, you get to a point where you say, well, maybe I need to cut back on the party because it's starting to get in the way of work. Okay? And then when you try to, well, I won't do it after 12, I only do it on weekends. All these different ways you kept trying. And then I found out that I started finding myself telling myself stuff like, oh, well, the bosses are just trying to be on, they're just picking on me. Everybody's on my back. Then it progressed to a thought of, they don't realize what I do for them. You know, they don't know who they're talking to. I don't deserve to be treated like this. They really don't. They're really lucky that I'm working here. And next thing I found myself having the mind frame that work was starting to get in the way of getting high.
Oh, wow, okay.
I'm sitting there having fun, but I got to go to this job. I really don't need to go to that job. And somewhere that the brain shifted, you know, because it does affect your brain in the way you think. And I came up with the bright idea that, because the way I supported my habit was selling drugs. You know, I learned early on if I bought my drugs in bulk and they were cheaper. And I call myself helping others.
What? Okay.
See, if we all got together and we all got high, then instead of us running out and you having to go take a chance and going down to the corner or to the block and take a chance of getting in trouble and buying drugs on the street, instead I can have them, and as long as we get high, you can just buy them from me. So that way I'm helping you, and you know, and I'm getting high free too. So I call myself helping others, even in that misguided way. But somehow my brain made the leap that I can make more money selling drugs than being a financial analyst or being a real estate agent. Some stuff only makes sense when you're high. Okay?
So when did you start? How old were you when you started selling?
Oh, from the beginning, maybe 14, 15 years old.
So 14, 15, you've already, you know, alcohol, drugs, now you're selling. So now I'm assuming you're selling all the way through college, when you went to college. Okay, did that, wow.
Selling and using, yeah.
For 35 years.
Yeah, so I've been a millionaire. I just spent my first million.
35 years, but you know, just to think about 35 years, this is a testimony. Wow.
Yeah.
35 years and you're still here.
Yeah, I'm blessed.
I mean, it is a blessing that you are here, you know, able-bodied, right mind, and then God just pushed you. He took all that from your past. Now you have answered the agency that you are now the owner of, operating, helping others to go through recovery. That's just, now that's a blessing.
Yeah.
35 years, that's a blessing.
Yeah. And in doing those 35 years, just to give you what it looked like, it wasn't pretty. At times I've been to numerous treatment facilities. I've been prayed over.
Now, can I ask you about that?
Sure.
Because I know on Facebook, I see a lot of questions. I don't know if you've seen the same questions now, that mainly pertaining to depression, because depression has been, mental health has just been a major topic now with the recent, you know, suicides that we've had of celebrities, well-known individuals. And then I think people in general now are just talking about depression a little bit more than they have before. And I want to stop you there because the church, oftentimes we don't know how to handle these kind of situations, mental health or addiction. And so there's always this question, and I don't know if you're able to answer it or not, but just something to think about. There's always this question: is that a spiritual thing, or is it natural, biological, a physical thing? Addiction, mental health. You know, I think everyone's trying to, within the church, trying to figure it out and call it something or give it a label so that the church knows how to address it. or just believers know how to handle it, what would you say to them? Because you also mentioned it was a disease.
Yeah, and first I want to tie in and instead of separating mental health and separating addiction, because many times they're co-occurring. Mm-hmm. You know, mental health issues can lead to substance use, and substance use leads to mental health issues. Mm-hmm. So the person develops both. When you think of things like feelings of low self-esteem, low self-worth, anxiety, depression, feelings of inadequacy, all of those are things that mental health and substance use have in common. Okay, and then when we think about how should the church or how should families approach or understand an individual, whether it's a spiritual thing, whether it's a spirit or my belief is addiction and mental health also, they have three components: spiritual, mental, and physical. Okay. So they affect the spiritual, mentally, and physical. Mm-hmm. And the first thing to go is the spiritual. Okay, you start, as I was explaining to you earlier, those feelings of inadequacy. Mm-hmm. I'm not good enough. I'm not, they're not going to like me. I don't know if I can do it. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm worthy. I'm not good enough. Or I'm a bad person. Those feelings. Okay. Then the mental aspect of once the disease catches on and the person that's addicted start using drugs, that's all they can think about. Getting one more. Mm-hmm. Regardless of who I hurt, what I neglect, one more is going to make it all right.
And the spiritual part is dying.
The spiritual is what goes first. Yeah. Because when my spirituality goes, then I seek something else to fill that void.
Are y'all hearing this? He's just he's really breaking this down.
Yeah. And so that happens, and then the physical aspect of the compulsion to continue using. Okay. Even when it's hurting. Mm-hmm. You're sitting there. I've seen women sit there, and I was with one young lady years ago, and her water broke, and we called the ambulance to come get her, but she wanted to finish her drugs before the ambulance got there. Wow. And that was, that's not a choice thing there. A lot of people think it's just a choice. Yeah. Is being allergic to peanut butter a choice? No, but they had to break the cycle. But so far as what can churches do, what can family members do? Help that person find some support, some guidance about what they need. A lot of people call me and say, well, I have a family member going through this, or I got a church member going through that. What should I do? And I said, well, first of all, help connect them to the resources they need, the people that are qualified to help them. But also, what you can do in the meanwhile is just act cute, Jerry. Say, well, Elliot, what are you talking about? Act cute. 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 C-U-T-E. Show some compassion, have some understanding, practice some tolerance, and show some empathy. Just act cute. Oh, wow. That's the best way to help.
Say that one more time, that acronym.
Cute. C-U-T-E. Compassion, understanding, tolerance, and empathy. Because that's what I do today. That's what helps me stay well in working with individuals, because there was a time that was me. Mm-hmm. So who am I to say this person can't make it when I did it? Right. So just act cute. And then also things like a lot of churches are starting recovery meetings, or just groups, just support groups within the church. I have a few churches I've actually started doing a rap program with the congregation.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Because it helps people to not only get along with each other within the church, help the church function better, but understand their past, their families, understand individuals inside and outside the church with addiction issues, with mental health issues. Wow. So rap is good for that too. So call me. I actually do that with some church group congregations.
Can you explain the difference between substance abuse and substance use? I know it seems like the language is changing.
Okay.
So, what's the difference between substance abuse and then substance use when it comes to labeling or a disorder?
Okay. Well, the movement toward changing the language from substance abuse to substance use is just that the labeling. And anytime you label something, you create a stigma. And a stigma means a negative connotation. So if I say substance abuse, just like if I say to you that the person's a crackhead, what picture comes to your mind? If I say this is a crackhead, it's going to come in here in a minute.
You think of someone that's frail,
dirty,
not clean.
Can't trust them.
Right.
Right. So if I say here comes a substance abuser, automatically you jump from the mom that's misusing her prescription medication to a picture of somebody that's coming in here to steal everything. You want to hide your pocketbook and watch them every step of the way. So they're getting away from using substance abuse and starting at substance use.
Okay.
And one of the things behind the term substance use is because people use some substances, especially with the opioid epidemic going on now, and the prescription drugs. Prescription drugs were there for good reasons, for good purposes. But people are not using those prescription drugs as prescribed. And so to avoid labeling, which prevents people from coming forward to seek help, it prevents a lot of people from offering help when they hear the term substance abuse. And instead they're substituting using the term substance use now.
So I think about opioids. And what population do you think right now is really being impacted? The reason why I asked that is because in some training that I went to, I was really amazed, and I'm still learning, everybody, okay? But I was really amazed that a lot of seniors are addicted to pain medication and to other things. I didn't realize that senior citizens actually have high numbers for addiction. So,
okay. Well, senior citizens, the population as a whole is being affected.
Yeah.
And that's what's one of the things that's brought on all the recent publicity, the recent movement for help fighting opioid addictions is an opioid crisis, is because that's reaching across the board. It's going from the grandmother and grandfather that have been prescribed these pills for years and now become addicted to the teenager or even minor child that's going in the cabinet and finding these prescription drugs that the grandparents have. And it's starting to affect the whole family and affecting all parts of the country. I was Wednesday, I was in Washington at a congressional hearing about the opioid battle here in the country. And you had one faction saying that the opioid crisis was affecting rural America the most. And the other faction's like, no, it's the inner city is everybody. So we can guess who was who. Democrat versus Republican or Republican versus Democrat, whatnot. But the thing was, all it showed to me was with both sides saying how it affected their communities the most. That's when it's affecting all communities.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, I know it's affecting all communities, but is there a demographic group? Is it hitting more African Americans compared to Caucasians or Latinos? They talk about that. So the ethnic groups that may be impacted more.
One thing about it, because there's that argument about why this opioid crisis is being pushed to the forefront.
Yes, very.
But plain and simple, substance use in America has gotten out of hand. It's now it's becoming more prominent. It's more accessible. and it's affecting more people as a whole.
Yeah.
And so now it's not just relegated to Southeast Raleigh. It's everywhere.
That's right. So you talked a little bit about your past being addicted to all types of drugs and alcohol, and so selling drugs and using drugs for 35 years. So what was the breaking point?
Okay. Well, let's see. Like I said, multiple treatment centers, multiple arrests. I've been incarcerated before. I had everybody in the world trying to help me. Friends, colleagues, churches, everybody trying to prevent Elliot from going to prison. But all the king horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty together again. And eventually I went to prison. I've been to prison 6 times.
6 times.
6 times.
6
So
times.
it's not a matter of being, you're smart enough to know better.
Yeah.
I'm smart enough to know better, but I just couldn't do that. I've given the state of North Carolina 11 and a half years of my life on this installment plan. The last time going to prison, I said, I can't do this anymore. I've tried everything I could come up with to try to use successfully, did not work. And I finally gave up. I asked God for some help. In front of me, God put NA programs, Narcotics Anonymous programs, AA programs, church, basket weaving classes. I learned how to grow flowers, anything I could do not to use. Okay. Following that, I got out of prison the last time. And I noticed something in prison. I said, Elliot, all the education you have, all the way your upbringing and support and stuff you have, why do you keep doing this? And I was like, I got to think. I was like, something's not right with the way I think. And I even called home one day from prison. And I talked to my mom, and I said, Mom, I said, I've been thinking. She said, uh-oh. I said, something's, I keep doing this. This is my 6th time in prison. Something's not right with the way I'm thinking. She said, I said, I said, I think I might need to see somebody.
Wow.
You know what she said? Baby, you might be right. I couldn't believe my mom told me, baby, you might be right. She's supposed to say, no, everything's going to be okay. But what I did different this time, not only did I go to recovery meetings, I went to a treatment center where I had a psychiatrist, I had a therapist, I had group meetings, and I gave up. I tried anything they said they would work. And it did, because there was, brain, you call addiction a disease, a brain disease, because it affects the way the brain works. So it's a matter of taking all these things together to stop that cycle. And while I was doing that, I would go to the treatment center, the meetings, the groups, and whatnot. And I would leave, say, the NA meetings. And I would see individuals that needed help. And I said, well, hey, come on with me. I'll show you where to go. And so I would take them with me to the treatment center. And one day someone saw me and they said, hey, man, I got a job that would be perfect for you.
Oh, wow.
And I said, well, what is it? And then, because at the time I had a job being a telemarketer. That was one of the people that would hire me. They said, well, he can't get too much trouble on the phone. And they told me about peer support. And they're saying,
how long has peer support been around?
Peer support has been around for years. But peer support recently became popular in the last, I would say the big movement has been the last 5 to 6 years. Peer support became one of the services that Medicaid approves, and they pay for it. So it started to become popular. So, but I did the trainings, I took the RAP, got a job as a peer support specialist, and I found out when I started dedicating my life to helping others, then blessings and different things happened to me. I took the focus off me and started being other-centered. And that's why I'm sitting here on this couch with you today.
That's right. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And also, I went through the NC Hope program. I'm also a trained peer support specialist, and it is definitely a rewarding field. I enjoy it. It helps me on my wellness.
Right.
With my wellness as well. So how long have you been sober now?
I've been sober 5.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And just to tell you all about how your life can change, once you start dedicating life to helping others and seeking recovery. I just celebrated a couple of months ago being out of prison 4 years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I have no idea.
I just because I met you. Gosh, was it last year? Last year.
Was it last year?
Yeah, a year and a half.
Okay.
And now hearing your story, it just seems like God is just moving you at such a fast pace. And then also because we're also Facebook friends, y'all. So I see now that you are a homeowner.
Yeah, well, I'm about to be a homeowner. I close next month.
And I just see how your life is just moving, and I'm just so happy to be able to see that happen in your life and to see all the work that you're doing in the lives of so many other people.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much. If you could, before we close our show for today, if you could just give some encouragement to an individual who may be struggling with addiction and just doesn't know what to do next and fearful and just need encouragement to make that decision to get help or get treatment.
Okay. Well, what I would say, first of all, let me give you a little hope. As I told Sherry, I used everything for over 35 years. Been incarcerated multiple times. Been homeless. Felt helpless. Felt hopeless. Felt inadequate. Even coming out of prison, being around family and friends, I still felt different. Felt like I wasn't good enough or that I messed up. But do not be afraid to seek help. Don't try to. I can't tell you what not to do, but what didn't work for me, I tried to figure it out on my own. I tried to figure out how I could make this thing work, how I could make recovery work, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't fix a situation. I couldn't solve a problem with the same mind that created the problem.
Ooh, wow.
So I needed to go seek help and some guidance from other people. Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed to seek help. Yeah. What I see is a big barrier to a lot of people is pride. And what I learned early on in trying to maintain my pride, and not asking for help or not letting people know that I need help, I found out that a lot of people don't make it. It's 35 years out of there. A lot of people I know that didn't make it because they had too much pride to seek help. And so I'm going to give you another acronym, Sherry, if you don't mind.
Yes, please.
But pride, you all. PRIDE. Primary reason I die early. Leave that pride alone. Get some help. Whew. And who knows, once you get some help, how many people or who you will also be able to help. That's all I got. Wow. And feel free to give me a call if you need some guidance or some direction, or if you think you might want to see if you got anything going on. My number is open. I answer the phone all times of day or night. My number is 919-670-7738. 919-670-7738. And last thing I can tell you is there's hope. There's always hope. And you say, well, it's a miracle that you're doing what you're doing, Elliot. Yeah, it is a miracle. Yeah. Let that miracle happen in your life too.
That's right.
All you have to do is be willing and to surrender.
That's right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, and I like that acronym for PRIDE. So we had an acronym for PRIDE. We had one for cute. Okay. So PRIDE again was the
primary reason I die early. And I'll give you one more. One last one I get. In relation to the church. Yeah. In recovery. A lot of times one of my barriers to accepting the help from the church was my ego. I don't need anybody to pray for me. I don't need anybody to show me how to do this. You know, I might get it right. I might stay clean for a week
Mm.
and figure I got this now. You know, okay, God, I got it. You know, I can take it from here. You know, and I let my ego get in the way. And anytime I'm operating on my ego, I'm easing God out.
Did y'all get that? Ego. Say it.
Ego, ego, easing God out. So let him be in the driver's seat. Ride. See where God takes you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Mr. Palmer. I hope you come back again.
Anytime, just let me know.
Yes, I hope you come back again. And then also I want to share with you too, Yellow Table Talk family. Look at your calendars for December 1st. I am planning an event. I'm not going to go, into any more details. It's going to be a surprise event. You will be seeing more details in the coming month or so. But December 1st, just go ahead and look at your calendars now, okay? Go ahead and exit out because you're going to be with me, the Yellow Table Talk family, for a awesome event, okay? Thank you so much, Mr. Palmer. I'm going to put his information on the Facebook page so that way you guys can contact him. And I encourage you too, if you're an individual and you're interested in being a peer support specialist or receiving RAP training or being a RAP facilitator, this is your man. He can do that for you.
Can I give one plug?
Yes, go right ahead.
If you're interested in becoming a peer support specialist where you're able to work with individuals with substance use and mental health issues, you can look on Facebook or Google NC Hope Peer Support Training and News. That's on the Facebook. But NC Hope Peer Support Training to become a peer support specialist. You need a RAP class, Wellness Recovery Action Plan, whether you're interested in RAP for your family, RAP for your church group, RAP for your recovery group, RAP for your treatment center, RAP for your diabetic group, whatever. You can call Answer, New Start While Empowering Recovery. Call me, Elliot Palmer, at 919-670-7738. If you're interested in going on and becoming a RAP facilitator so that you can facilitate RAP groups or start your own business facilitating RAP groups. Do have a RAP facilitator training coming up September 17th through the 21st here in Raleigh, North Carolina. But you can also go to my Facebook page, Answer's Facebook page, A New Start While Empowering Recovery on Facebook for information on that, or just contact me directly.
Okay. All right. Thank you all for tuning in for Yellow Table Talk. We will be, our show will air again next month. I will be posting the information about our next show for August. But thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to Mr. Palmer, and y'all be blessed.